Today is Saturday, April the 18th, 2020. And today I am going to tell a story time. And today I'm going to talk about Bella, my dog. Her name is Buddha Isabella Grace, and she was born on May the 19th, 2008. She'll be 12 this year. And I got her when she was not quite 6 weeks old. And the little story behind Bella was I wanted a dog for years. Begged my husband. He didn't want one because we had one when I got married that hated him, and she ended up dying when she was a year and a half old. She got hit by a car, which was very traumatizing for me. But anyhow, he did not want a dog, so I finally broke him down. And my neighbor next door, my sweet Pam that I talked about, she had a Boston Terrier puppy, and we had lived here, let's see, 3 years at that point. I guess 2.5 years. And I didn't really know Pam, but Paige came home. She's like, Mama, this Pam has a Boston Terrier puppy. I was like, oh gosh, I gotta go see this dog because I love Bostons. So I went over and that began our friendship. So anyhow, Bostons are special. And so she's got Jake, and so she gave me the information on where she got Bella, which if I down the road get another one, I would like to do a rescue. I did purchase her. But anyways, I just have always loved Bostons. So I got her, and when she was still a little puppy, I had decided I was going to breed her once. And I had a friend named Ashley who had a male named Roscoe, and we were going to breed them when Bella was a year. And just do one litter. She was going to take the pig, go litter, and then I was going to sell the rest. Well, when she was about, let's say, 2 months old, because it was still warm, real warm, she was itching a lot and had a really kind of a bad smell to her. And so I'd taken her to the vet, again, of course we were doing our shots and stuff. And I, had them check her because I thought, gosh, there's something wrong with her. Well, it turns out she had Demodex mange. And that is something that's passed from the mom to the pups. So I chose not to breed her at that point because I didn't want to subject another puppy to this. And I'm also glad I didn't breed her because there are so many dogs out there. But anywho, she had to be treated, and I took her for, I want to say about 6 weeks every Saturday. And altogether, that bill was well over $600. So that was the first incident with Buddha, a girl. She doesn't do anything halfway. She really is my child. She's just like me. I don't do anything halfway when it comes to my health. But anyhow, so when she was, let's see, we were going to do it in January, so she was about 7 months old. I'd scheduled to have her spayed. Well, she was going to go in on Monday. On Sunday, she came into heat. So this was I think it was in February. Late January, early February when this happened. So of course we watched her like a hawk. At that time we didn't let her outside by herself. And she came out of heat, and we were waiting for an appointment because they had to wait so long after she came out of the heat to do it. And I was holding her one Saturday morning and, loving on her, rubbing her belly, and I noticed that her nipples were really large and that her hoo-ha-ha was swollen. And then I felt 2 lumps in her belly and thought, oh my gosh, she's pregnant. I don't know what could have got her. The only thing I could think was when I was at work, the kids let her out, wasn't paying attention. And so, of course, I'm in panic mode, called the vet crying. I said, I think my dog is pregnant. Is there anything you can do to check? And they said, yeah, bring her in, we'll do an ultrasound. So I brought her in, and I was so scared because I didn't know what I was going to do if she was pregnant because I didn't know what she'd had. Bostons a lot of times have to have C-sections because they don't have wide enough hips to deliver. What if a big dog got her? All these thoughts were going through my mind. I didn't know what I was going to end up having to do. So I took her back there, and the vet does the ultrasound, starts laughing, and he looks at me, he said, those are turds. So yeah, I was crying over some turds. Such a ding dong. But anyways, so that was kind of funny. So then of course I took her and have her spayed a few weeks after that, and everything went fine. She was healthy for a few years, and then she developed these growths on her belly, and they were getting bigger and bigger. So I took her to the vet, had him check them, and she said they were just like a benign growth, and that she would take them off. So we scheduled the surgery. and she called me. She said, I found a knot on her back, which I knew that knot was there. It had been there forever. I didn't think anything of it. I thought it was like a fatty growth. She said, I'd like to have it biopsied because I think it's cancerous. I said, okay. So they did it, and turned out she didn't have cancer, but they got all around. It was stage 2 or 3, I can't remember. But that was 8 years ago. So I think it'll be 8 years, I believe it'll be 8, maybe even 9 years in August. So she's not had it come back, thankfully. And then another time, and that was a huge bill. The biopsy itself was more than the whole surgery, but it was worth it. And then when she was, I don't know, it was about a year after that, she had allergies, and they were really bothering her. So I took her to the doctor or the vet, and they gave her a steroid shot and sent her on her merry way. Well, about 2 weeks later, as you know, or you may not know, steroids weaken your immune system. That's why I have a weak immune system, or basically no immune system, because I'm on prednisone daily. Well, she developed some sort of bug. They don't know what happened. She said Bostons have iron stomachs, so she doesn't think it was anything she ate. It's just something she caught. And because her immune system was weakened, she couldn't fight it off. I really thought we were going to lose her. She was so weak. She wouldn't move. She was throwing up. I had gone to work that morning, and I noticed she wasn't feeling that good, but I didn't think anything of it. I was calling throughout the day. It was in the summertime to check on her, and you know, she seemed to be doing the same. So I went ahead and called the vet, and I said, can I bring her in? Because I left work at 3. And she said, yeah, you know, so I stopped and come home, got her and took her to the vet. They had to keep her overnight because of this virus. She was dehydrated. She had to have an IV put in her. It was a big mess. We got over that. Well, then we started on allergy medicine, prescription medicine, because we couldn't do the steroids because we knew what happened. Well, one Friday morning, I was getting ready to go to work. This would have been probably 4 years ago. I was getting ready to go to work, maybe even 5 years ago. I guess it was probably 5 years ago. Getting ready to go to work on a Friday. My husband, at the time, he was gone. I think he went to Utah for work. He went somewhere. And so I was alone. I took my son to school, got home. She rode with me. Got out of the car. She jumped. She started screaming in pain. I thought, oh my gosh, what is wrong with her? And so, of course, my mind goes to the very worst case scenario. And so I get dressed because she kept screaming in pain. I get dressed. You know, I don't put any makeup on. I just, you know, I'm hurrying up and getting ready to call work. So, hey, I'm going to be late because I got to take her to the vet. And I get to the vet, and I'm crying because I'm convinced it's something serious. She pulled a muscle in her neck. So they gave her a pain pill, and they did give her a steroid shot because of the inflammation, which she did fine on. So then she was fine. Exactly 1 year later, I will not forget this, exactly 1 year later, she did the same thing. The only reason I know it was exactly 1 year later is because it came up on my time off. That morning, it was a Saturday morning, and she did the same thing. So I had to take her back to the vet, same thing, steroid shot, and then they gave her a pain pill. Well, we did pretty good for a while until Sunday, this past Sunday, Easter Sunday. And Bella likes to, I like to say she's showing the floor who's boss. And I'm going to insert a clip here of what she does. You see that she rubs on the floor, and she does her neck back and forth. And so I'm pretty sure that's when she scratched her or hurt her eye. We'll get to that in a minute. It was, as you know, Bostons have kind of bug eyes. But anyhow, I was on the phone, I was doing FaceTime with Jeremy, we're having our nightly conversation, and she got up on my lap, and I noticed that her right eye was swollen, like shut. And she's got a little growth on her eye right here. It's been there for years. Vet isn't concerned about it. And so it's like a mole or something. But anyways, so I noticed her eye was kind of swollen shut, so I said, let me call you back. So I went and got a warm washcloth and did a compress on it because I thought maybe it was matted for some reason. Of course, she screams in pain. Now I start freaking out because I thought, oh my gosh, what's wrong with my dog? So I Googled it because Dr. Google, you know. and it said it was probably an ulcer, scratched cornea. I was like, okay. So I didn't sleep well that night because she was up all night in pain. Every time she would move, I had her up in bed with me. Every time she would move, she'd cry out in pain. It would wake me up. She was up and down all night. She was not doing well. I wasn't doing well. I was upset, nervous, and stressed because, you know, money is extremely tight for me, and I hadn't budgeted to have to do this. Thankfully, I'd gotten my tax return Monday, and so I had plenty of money to cover it. But anyhow, so I called the vet at 7:05. They open at 7. They scheduled her to come in at 10:30. And of course, they're not doing any contact right now, so I had my mask on. They had their mask on. They took her, which I was surprised that she went with them willingly. And they come back out and said that she has a scratched cornea, an ulcer on her eye. They prescribed her drops for her eyes and then a pain pill, and she had to wear the cone of shame, which I'd had a cone of shame from when she'd had her cancer surgery, but I got rid of it last year thinking I'd never need it again. So I had to buy a new one, which is no big deal. And so came home, I actually went over to my neighbor's, and my neighbor helped me put drops in her eyes. I wasn't sure if I'd be able to do it by myself because I'm, trying to hold her and do the drops. And she's not big. She's a big Boston. She's 25 pounds, so she's on the higher end, but she's strong. And so anyhow, we did the drops, went home, got her the cone of shame, give her medicine, and she let me do the drops after that, fine. So I had to take her back yesterday for a follow-up. Thankfully, when I took her back, they got her immediately. This time she didn't want to go with them. She squealed and squirmed and growled, and she's the most passive dog you'll ever meet. She loves everybody. Everybody. She doesn't know a stranger. She'll get in your car if you come here and open the door. She'd go with you. She won't come back, but anyways, she came back right out within a few minutes and said that the ulcer cornea is healed, that we don't have to do the drops anymore, I don't have to give her a pain pill anymore, but she has to wear the cone of shame for 2 more days. And I just have to watch her after that. So I'm just so thankful because I love this little dog. She's my only company right now. And she's my companion. I love her, she's getting up there in years. I know realistically I don't have a lot more time with her. I pray that I'm given, a few more years with her, but I realize she's a senior dog. She's definitely aging. She moves slower now, and she sleeps a lot more, but she's a good dog. She is just sweet as can be. I mean, this dog has never met a stranger. So anyhow, I think that's about it for now. I just wanted to kind of do a little story time, give a story about my dog. I've had a couple people ask me to do a video on Bella. I've even had somebody suggest I start a channel for her. I probably won't do that, just because I don't have time to dedicate to it. But I'll probably put some vlogs up about her over here every once in a while. Let me know in the comments down below if you have a pet. What kind of pet do you have? And I think that's about it for now. I hope you guys have a great day. Don't forget, not every day is good, but there's always something good in every day, and I'll see you next time.